It's Wednesday, January 14th.
We were at a point where we felt the need to do something.
A Saskatoon nurse says violence in Saskatoon emergency departments all too common, and it's time for the province to address it.
My optimism would probably be on the higher end now that there's going to be some resolve, if not immediate, probably in the very near future.
Producers at Western Canadian Crop Show paying close attention to ongoing international trade discussions.
I think they want it. I don't really care about it.
U.S. President Donald Trump calling the free trade agreement between Canada, the U.S., and Mexico, quote, irrelevant, saying the U.S. doesn't need it. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Janelle Lippi. We hope your day is off to a great start.
What kind of sludge are you drinking over there? It's kind of got a green tinge to it.
It's tea. It's throat tea.
Throat tea. It's going around. Whatever this is, my son's starting to get it, and Kayleen's got it. My goodness.
Yep, everybody's catching it.
Boy, oh boy. What was with the temperatures yesterday? Well, I felt like it was spring.
I know, and all of them melting, and it was a beautiful day. Today's actually going to be quite similar.
Starts to freeze again. It's going to get slick out there.
Yes.
Let's get to your headlines. Prime Minister Mark Carney will arrive in China this morning for a short but high-stakes visit. The Prime Minister is expected to meet with senior government leaders tomorrow before a face-to-face with President Xi Jinping of China on Friday. To strike any kind of deal, Prime Minister Carney will have to work through years of tension built up with China. He also has to keep in mind the needs of all the provinces and territories. For example, dropping an EV tariff will make canola farmers in this province happy, but could upset auto workers in Ontario. Before leaving for China, the Prime Minister met with coastal First Nations leaders in BC.
It is a day, as I say, for dialogue, for listening and working. There will be a time for coming back with progress, particularly with respect to conservation.
Coastal First Nations leaders are still adamantly opposed to a new pipeline, the easing the tanker ban portion. If Ottawa does move ahead with the pipeline project, First Nations say they will use every tool they have to stop it. Instead of a pipeline, they want to promote other economic projects like LNG and ecotourism. We're getting a better glimpse into Scott Moe's schedule as he heads to China, a trip coinciding with Prime Minister trade mission. According to a senior source within the government of Saskatchewan, Moe was on holiday in Vietnam, and discussions began late last week with the Prime Minister's office about Moe joining for a few meetings in China. Moe was able to make the arrangements and has secured the appropriate visas for the visit. The mission is mainly focused on restoring trade ties between Canada and China, as you know. Saskatchewan's NDP says all avenues towards creating more access to global markets beyond the U.S. is crucial.
That port access is the number one issue. It's the bottleneck that does not allow us to diversify our markets and be able to make sure that we are able to trade all over the world, not just to the south of us.
The province has been exploring several options for more port access for Saskatchewan goods, including a memorandum of understanding with the government that was signed with Manitoba on the port of Churchill last year. As Moe travels to China, agricultural industry leaders have gathered in Saskatoon for the annual Western Canadian Crop Production Show. Hallie Mandrick reports.
As producers from across the country gather for the 43rd annual Western Canadian Crop Production Show, many are talking about Premier Scott Moe's trip to China and the implications it could have on the industry.
Expectations, I think we're cautious on that. We're optimistic that there'll be some sort of a way forward. I don't know when that's going to happen, but we do anticipate that at some point those tariffs will go away. The sooner the better.
It was announced on Monday that Moe would be joining Prime Minister Mark Carney on the trip to China. Many at the conference shared hope that this move indicates Saskatchewan will have a seat at the table in conversations regarding trade and international tariffs, particularly the hefty tariffs on Canadian canola products.
My optimism would probably be on the higher end now that there's going to be some resolve, if not immediate, probably in the very near future. I would have to think for the Prime Minister to be going that they probably think that there's some end to this, and I would hope that there would be.
Bell says last year's harvest season was fruitful for farmers in Western Canada, but the economic situation has made it difficult for producers to see that reflected in their income.
Unfortunately, a lot of it's still in the bin, so the sooner the better. Obviously, like they're going to want to market that crop and get some cash in hand, both to pay bills, but also there's a crop to plan for 2026.
The pressure to have these tariffs lifted is increasing as producers hope to plan for the spring.
It's obviously something we really do need. It's going to have an impact on a lot of the crush side. It's going to have an impact, obviously, on the market. And it'll also have an impact on what farmers decide to put into the ground as well.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A nurse in Saskatoon says violence in emergency departments all too common, and it's time for the province to step in and address it. Jeremy, we've been following this for quite some time. What's this following?
Well, Daryl, it's following a number of violent and potentially dangerous situations at St. Paul's Hospital. And now dozens of staff in the emergency department have written a letter calling for immediate action. Now, the letter had dozens of testimonials detailing knives, guns, even a grenade being brought into the hospital. One nurse was bitten and bleeding during her first shift, and many others say they no longer feel safe providing care, hoping the province will address their concerns with more security and metal detectors to start.
We were at a point where we felt the need to do something, and we were hopeful that if we candidly share these experiences, provide an opportunity for folks to feel safe in sharing their experiences, ensure that everyone had an opportunity to participate, perhaps people would pause and listen.
Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell says he has been meeting with the health authority to discuss these challenges and that he will have more to say in the coming days. A former Saskatoon real estate agent facing hate speech charges is now representing himself in court. Brandon Taylor Moore, charged with public incitement of hatred and unsafe storage of a firearm. He also faces additional hate propaganda charges, including willfully promoting hatred and willfully promoting anti-Semitism by condoning, denying, or downplaying the Holocaust. The 46-year-old is accused of using social media to promote hatred against Jewish people. During a court appearance yesterday, Moore's lawyer was granted permission to withdraw from the case, leaving Moore to represent himself. The judge granted Moore access to the evidence against him under strict conditions, requiring him to keep the material private, use it only for his defense, and eventually return it to the Crown. Well, Daryl, we're learning more about that deadly carbon monoxide leak that happened over Christmas.
That's right. Provincial auditor now says they will not be initiating or conducting a separate investigation into that leak in Regina that left 11-year-old Henry Losco dead when CO leaked in his family's apartment on December 19th. The auditor's office says it recognizes the profound loss and seriousness of the concerns raised. Regina Fire is currently leading a multi-agency investigation. A Regina business is cleaning up after a fire on Monday. Country Corner Donuts, owned by Vong Pham, and it's been in business for about 37 years. Around 4 in the morning on Monday, check out the inside. Pham was at home when he received a notification from his alarm company that the front counter was on fire and melted a lot of stuff there. The building on the outside, not damaged. The back kitchen was also spared.
Everybody stopped by here. Some just say sorry, some hug me, some shake a hand. This one raised my family. We not get rich, but at least we have comfortable to living and children success in their life and mean a lot. That's why I stay here. I don't want to go anywhere.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation. A survey has found most Canadians are planning to spend less this year. A report from TD Bank says 2/3 of Canadians want to cut back on spending. The desire to save was tilted more toward younger Canadians.
They're leaning in more into their loyalty programs, into budgeting, and also into no spending challenges, which are becoming very popular with this younger generation.
For people looking to cut back, what are they willing to give up? Well, the survey found respondents plan to cut back on eating out at restaurants, going to concerts, and paying fewer dollars for subscriptions. That's how they want to spend less. The survey says the commitment to buy Canadian does remain strong. A warning out of Quebec after the lug nuts were removed from a car in what some people say is part of a challenge from TikTok.
People think it may be funny, somebody's going to lose a wheel. First of all, there's damage, so the people will be, have physical damage on their car, but lives are at risk.
Raphael Blais had the car started to shake as he's driving just before getting back on the highway. He turned back. That's when he realized the lug nuts, which were fastened to the tires and keep the tires in place, missing on one wheel entirely. After posting his experience online, he learned about the lug nut challenge circulating on TikTok years ago. His mechanic told him the lug nuts were removed manually and said a lot of people have also reached out with similar stories. Police say if it was intentional or a prank, it still could constitute a criminal offense. No kidding. Prince Albert Raiders scored 3 goals in the third period as they climb back into the win column.
Cross ice feed now has it. Brett sneaking his way in. Brett on a backhand, and they score!
Riley Boychako and Corkish and Braden Dubé each scored in the third period as the Raiders beat the Brandon Wheat Kings 5-3 at the Art Hauser Center last night. The Raiders have won 8 of their last 10.
Batted around a couple of skates. Now Ben Miller carries in. Back down to McDonough, centered, save made, rebound, they score. Carson Dick, his second.
The Portland Winterhawks held the Moose Jaw Warriors off the scoreboard last night in a 5-0 win. The Warriors continue their U.S. road trip tonight against the Everett Silvertips. 12 Saskatchewan communities saw record-breaking temperatures yesterday. Janelle, take us through it.
That's right. Well, the Cypress Hills area was the warmest record breaker at 10.6 degrees, up just slightly from the record set in 1996. Meadow Lake reached a high of 8.4, beating its old record set in 1985 of 4.1. Prince Albert, Melfort, Nipawin, and Waskesiu Lake also setting records. Maple Creek just missed setting a record, but still saw a high of 12 degrees and was the hot spot in the province. As for Saskatoon, again, no record set, but we saw 4.9 degrees and Regina saw 3.6. Let's take a look now at this current temperature. Right here in Regina, we've got a beautiful start to the day. -3 currently, seeing those wind speeds fairly calm at about 11 kilometers per hour traveling south. And once that sun does rise, we will be seeing a little bit of it. However, a cloudier day is expected for both the Regina and Saskatoon areas. Over to Saskatoon now, -7. Again, calm wind speeds headed south at about 9 kilometers per hour. However, feeling closer to -11 here to start the day. Let's take a look at these wind gusts, because today we're expecting to see quite calm wind speeds here throughout the province, anywhere from between 15 to 30 kilometer per hour winds. So a little bit gusty out there. However, we are expecting to see these climb significantly tomorrow. We'll get more into that coming up, but first let's take a look at these current temperatures. Buffalo Narrows is at -1, Spiritwood 0 degrees, Melfort -4, Hudson Bay -12, the Battlefords -4, Kindersley -5, Yorkton sitting at -12, Weyburn -1. For our highs today throughout the province, the Battleford seeing 3 degrees, Prince Albert 2 degrees and experiencing some fog. Swift Current 7, we've got Regina and Weyburn both at 1, and Yorkton -1, and expecting to see a little precipitation here as the day goes on. For our 7-day forecast today, our high in Regina will be 1 degree. Again, seeing a little bit of sunshine, however a cloudier day, and that leads us into tomorrow where we'll see some snowfall. 0 degrees still, so be careful on those roads because we'll be hitting about -11 in the night, so that will melt and then freeze. Things will be a little bit slick out there. Over to Saskatoon now, today -2 as the high. Tomorrow 0 degrees and also experiencing some snow. Now, we talked about it yesterday and we will talk about it again today because Thursday is one of our windiest days here this week. For the Saskatoon area, those winds on Thursday will be headed northwest at about 47 kilometers per hour. However, once we get into Friday and into the weekend, we will start to see those lower just a little bit. Friday -8, and we'll be kicking off the weekend on Saturday with -2. In case you missed it, a BC man has found a chilly way to blow off some steam.
Danny boy, the pipes are calling.
Not only does Matthew Kirby wade into the chilly ocean every day, he's also singing while he's in there. Kirby says while the cold does take his breath away, it also makes him feel sharp enough. Kirby swims for as much as half an hour, some days no matter the season. And at this point, he's been doing it for years.
Of course, you got to sing in the tub.
Of course.
Right? You're going for a nice little soak.
Sing a little song.
Why not?
Hey, whatever you got to do. That's okay.
Whatever floats your senior. Question of the day is where we go next. This is going to be Jeremy's absolute favorite. It is National Dress Up Your Pet Day because, of course, there's National Day for absolutely everything. So we are asking you to send us
pet violence.
That's right. We're asking you to send us pictures of your pets in costumes. We have a few examples to show you. This is producer Nathan's pup, Sammy, in a cowboy hat.
Very sweet. She is
Sammy
the
looks
best
thrilled.
Sammy looks thrilled.
Sammy hates his life. Nathan is cruel to his pet. Understood.
There's my slugger disco. AI is a wonderful thing on some days, and this day it was.
AI, that's fine. In fact, that's a great idea. A good use for AI, even.
Right?
All right. Oh, and here is my baby Crouton. This was when he was teeny weeny, right before Christmas.
Now that cat looks truly disturbed.
No, he is a happy boy.
Are you sure, or are you telling him so?
I love him. I just love him.
Forced happiness.
Well,
for all of us.
Oh.
See, the one on the right is a prisoner. Look at that.
Oh, my goodness.
We want your pictures. Send them in to us. All you got to do is text your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. You can send them to us on X at CTVYMSask, or you can email them by scanning that QR code. Let's take a look at the city of Regina on a nice, beautiful January morning. We're back in just a couple minutes.
Hello, everyone. Glenn Sheeler inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, let's go to Washington for the Habs and Caps. Montreal with a 2-on-1. Cole Caulfield is stopped by Logan Thompson, jumps on the rebound, feeds Alexander Texier, but he is absolutely robbed. Look at a sprawling Logan Thompson sliding across, making the incredible save. That is why he was named to Canada's Olympic roster. Thompson with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And tonight on TSN, it's Tangerine Raptors basketball. Raps taking on the Pacers. Tip-off for that, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's all from the newsroom, everyone. Have a great day.
New recommendations published in a British medical journal suggest eating 2 to 3 kiwi fruit daily for 4 weeks to help relieve chronic constipation. The kiwi's unique type of fiber, enzymes, and natural crystals seem to bulk up stools and lubricate the gut, making it easier to go. And when it comes to carbs and constipation, rye bread outperformed white bread and some laxatives, but it's not ideal for anyone who has celiac disease. Other strategies the guidelines recommend include drinking 2 to 6 cups of mineral water a day. Its magnesium content helps move things along. You might also consider taking a magnesium oxide supplement, though that's something to discuss with your doctor. Surprisingly, a diet high in fiber overall didn't show clear benefits, though a targeted fiber supplement like psyllium could do the trick. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
School Day Forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. In Regina, by the time you get onto the bus, -4. By the time lunchtime rolls around, -2. And about 3 p.m. final bell will be at 1 degree. And in Saskatoon, -7 by the time you get onto the bus. By around noon, we'll be hitting 0 degrees. And final bell, 2 degrees. As we go to break, here's a look at today's gas prices. The common cost to fill up in Regina and Saskatoon is $1.17.9, and you can find regular fuel in both cities for as low as $1.029. Taking a look over at the farm markets, the street price of canola is $571.42 per ton, and the futures price is $632.80 per ton. Over to amber durum wheat being $274.92 per ton, and red spring wheat is $250.32 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 72.01 cents US. After the break, major changes coming to pro basketball in Saskatoon.
Tassé, welcome to your morning Saskatchewan. It is 6:29. The free trade agreement between Canada, the U.S. and Mexico is up for review next year, but according to U.S. President Donald Trump, it's, quote, irrelevant.
Canada would love it. Canada wants it. They need it because we don't need Canada product. That's the thing. You know, I want to be a nice person, but we don't need. I want to build the cars here, not in Canada.
President Trump went on to say he doesn't care about the agreement. He made the comments while visiting a Ford factory in Michigan. The trade deal is up for mandatory review with formal talks set to begin this month ahead of the July deadline. The U.S. president has also made it clear he doesn't want cheaper Chinese electric vehicles, and neither does Ontario Premier Doug Ford.
It would not be good for Ontario and Canada, and it sure the heck wouldn't be good for the U.S., and it wouldn't be good when it comes to negotiating with President Trump.
Thank you so much.
Premier Ford held a news conference after meeting with Republican and Democratic representatives from Michigan State Legislature on Tuesday, or on trade rather. Doug Ford says any deal with China would remove tariffs on Chinese-made electric vehicles, would ultimately hurt Ontario's economy. There's been speculation that Canada could be looking to lift the EV tariffs for China in exchange for China lifting its canola tariffs on Canada. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is speaking out, calling on Ontario to drop a planned boycott of Crown Royal whiskey.
You are going to hurt Canadian jobs. You're going to hurt Manitoba jobs if you follow through with this action. And so I've asked them to reconsider.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford announced plans to remove Crown Royal from government-run liquor stores after the company that makes it decided to relocate its bottling plant from Ontario to the U.S. But there's also a plant in Manitoba where Crown Royal is mashed, distilled, and aged. Ontario is one of the largest buyers of alcohol, so that has people worried about what the move would mean for the facility. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew says he doesn't plan to pull Ontario liquor from Manitoba store shelves in response because that wouldn't be the, quote, right thing to do. There is a crucial meeting in Washington today over the future of Greenland, following repeated calls from the U.S. president for a takeover of the Danish territory. Nicole D'Antonio reports.
At the White House today, the focus will be on Greenland as Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Rubio meet with leaders of the Danish territory who oppose President Trump's effort to take over the territory. Greenland's prime minister is saying his nation would rather remain part of Denmark. Trump responding.
I disagree with him. I don't know who he is, don't know anything about him, but that's going to be a big problem for him.
Many Greenland residents say they're worried about what comes next.
It causes a great deal of worry about the future. People are reporting difficulties to sleep. This is really filling the agenda and the discussions around the households.
T-shirts reading "Greenland is not for sale" now line the streets. Greenland is part of the NATO alliance, and a treaty allows the U.S. to expand its military presence there. But President Trump says the U.S. needs to take it over to improve security in the Arctic. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
14 students and a bus driver are in hospital after a school bus rolled over in western Manitoba.
I've been with the family members, and it's a state of shock. Right, because you think your child's going to school only to find out, has been involved in an accident.
That happened yesterday morning as the bus was heading to Swan River from a Cree Nation in the area. There were 14 students on board, aged 16 to 18, along with the bus driver. They were all taken to hospital. 4 of them suffered significant injuries. The RCMP says the bus driver was trying to pass another bus, then lost control. Conditions on the road were icy at the time of the crash. Manitoba's premier says he's open to a conversation about putting seat belts on school buses. One person is dead after a 2-vehicle crash in Craven. This one happened about 6:30 p.m. Monday Monday night on Highway 20 near Highway 641. Police say an SUV and car collided. The passenger of the SUV was declared dead on scene. Now been identified as a 65-year-old woman from Regina whose name has not been released. Both drivers were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. RCMP continue to investigate. A former Saskatoon police officer charged with assault is expected to make a plea later this month. Dylan Kemp and Jason Garland were fired from the Saskatoon Police Service following an off-duty party on September 14, 2024. An investigation into the gathering alleges an assault occurred, leading to a charge against Kemp. The former constable was not present at Saskatoon Provincial Court yesterday, but his lawyer told the court that he is prepared to enter a plea in 2 weeks on January 27th. A public inquest into the death of an inmate who died while serving time at the Saskatchewan pen is scheduled for next month in Prince Albert. On November 28, 2022, 28-year-old Brandon Lepuski was found unresponsive in his cell. Staff began life-saving efforts and paramedics were called, but he was pronounced dead. Court records show Lepuski was sentenced earlier that year for trying to force his way into a Saskatoon basement suite with another man in January of 2020. One of the occupants of the suite was shot in the arm during the incident. The inquest into Lepuski's death is scheduled for February 10th to 13th. The number of homeless people in Regina has declined slightly, ever so slightly. There were findings in the annual point-in-time count that were released yesterday. It was conducted in October. Volunteers found 767 people living on the streets or in shelters. That's 57 fewer than a previous count done a year ago. Organizers of the count called that reduction a step in the right direction.
But I think what the numbers show by this reduction is it shows me that the money that we're spending is working, because even though the numbers were only reduced slightly, we also housed over 400 people in the last year.
70% of homeless were of Indigenous descent. The Saskatchewan Crops Forum is underway in Saskatoon, kicked off by a major funding announcement from the federal and provincial governments. Federal Minister of Agriculture Heath MacDonald joined Saskatchewan Minister of Agriculture David Merritt to announce $9.7 million to support crop research in Saskatchewan. It includes $7.2 million for 39 new crop research projects and $2.5 million to study long-term management of herbicide-resistant kochia and wild oats. Some of this year's crop projects include evaluating the performance of subsurface drip irrigation, resistance to wheat stem sawfly, increasing tolerance to drought for lentils, and validating bale wrapping material made of flax straw and oat hulls.
This ADF program is really valuable in that sense. We can address needs for industry and producer groups, do the necessary research, but also making sure that we're addressing relevant questions for farmers in Saskatchewan and in Western Canada in general.
The money is invested through ADF, the Agricultural Development Fund, under the Sustainable Canadian Agricultural Partnership. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has put a pause on proposed amendments to the traceability of the health of animals. This comes after many Canadian cattle producers and agriculture ministers expressed concerns over the amendments. The CFIA said in a statement that amendments are not currently in place and have not been finalized. And those involved in the agriculture with Saskatchewan are grateful that regulations are now being tabled.
We'll have the further discussions now with our industry stakeholders here in the province, and we will have it at the federal provincial table as well. The federal minister assured me that we would try to get it on the agenda at the next FPT meeting and have some discussions further on really making sure that the cow-calf producers and others aren't so impacted by some of the regulation changes that CFIA had recommended.
The CFIA goes on to say that modernized traceability systems will lead to quicker resolution of disease events, as well as stronger confidence in Canada's livestock system domestically and around the world. The man who scored one of the biggest goals in Canadian hockey history is giving back to the hospital that helped him 82 years ago.
I'm very convinced that without the King Cardin Hospital, I probably would be dead today.
Canadian hockey legend Paul Henderson was born in the middle of a snowstorm near Kincardine, Ontario. He was taken to hospital in a horse-drawn carriage. horse-drawn sleigh by his grandparents, if you can believe it. He's now giving back to the hospital since becoming an honorary healthcare ambassador as they try to raise money to expand. Henderson scored the winning goal in the decisive game of the Summit Series back in 1972. The Saskatchewan Rattlers are parting ways with their general manager and vice president of basketball operations, while it appears quietly moving towards a potential rebrand. The club making the announcement yesterday that Barry Rawlick's contract is not being renewed. He spent the last 7 seasons with the team. Prior to that, 14 years as the head of the UFS basketball program. The team promises a new era of Saskatoon basketball to come and has stripped the Rattlers branding from its website and social media pages. All that you see now, if you go there, is Saskatoon Professional Basketball Club. Interesting moves. Let's take you to a photo sent in to us from Dolores in Maple Creek. I don't see a lot of snow there, but I do see that old gray mare.
Oh, this is precious. Wait.
Old gray mare just ain't like she used to be.
I really like this. What a sweet photo. Yeah, no snow though.
No snow, that's the big thing. Are we getting any coming our way?
We are expecting to get some precipitation coming, especially tomorrow. But let's take a look behind me here. Can't really see a ton, but it is -4. We are starting to see some of this fog roll in. Again, those winds are about south-southeast at 11 kilometers per hour. They are going to pick up a little bit here today, and tomorrow is when we're expecting to see the most wind across the province. But over to Saskatoon now, -7. Those winds are headed south at about 9 kilometers per hour, and it's going to be a cloudier day here today. Now for our wind gusts, let's take a look at what we can expect for today. So today, by this morning until this afternoon and into the evening, we're expecting to see really anywhere from about 15 to close to 30 kilometer per hour winds throughout Saskatchewan. So it isn't going to be as windy as what we're expecting to see tomorrow, but it will cool down those temperatures a little bit. For our currents across the province, Buffalo Narrows at -1, Stony Rapids -13, Nipawin -6, Spiritwood at 0 degrees, Hudson Bay -12, the Battleford's -4, Kindersley -5, East End -1, along with Weyburn, Estevan -5, and Yorkton -11. For our highs today, the Battlefords will be seeing about 3 degrees. Prince Albert 2 degrees and also experiencing some of this fog. Yorkton -1 and is expected to see some of the snow come a little bit earlier here today. Swift Current 7 degrees, Weyburn and Estevan both at 1. For our 5-day forecast now here in Regina, today's high will be 1 degree, seeing some sunshine coming through, but a little bit of a cloudier day, which then leads us into tomorrow when we are expecting to see some snowfall. 0 degrees, so it is going to melt quite quickly. However, in the evening, we'll be hitting that low of about -11. So be careful on the roads. If you're out walking anywhere or driving anywhere, it is going to be slick, and those wind speeds are quite high tomorrow, northwest at about 48 kilometers per hour. However, we do wrap up the week on Friday with a beautiful day, -9, a little bit of sun coming out. And again, those wind speeds slowing down. Over to Saskatoon now, 2 degrees today is that high. Tomorrow, seeing a little bit of snowfall as well. 0 degrees, and those winds headed northwest at 47 kilometers per hour. As we get into the weekend, though, for Saskatoon, some beautiful temperatures ahead. On Saturday, -2, seeing some more sunshine, and on Sunday, -14.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is on his way to Beijing for a short but consequential visit as China and Canada try to move past years of diplomatic tensions, and Ottawa pushes to double non-U.S. trade by 2035. It is Carney's pragmatic foreign policy in action, says Asia Pacific Foundation Vice President Veena Najibullah. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew calling on Ontario Premier Doug Ford to drop plans for a boycott of Crown Royal whiskey, writing Ford's name on a barrel outside the plant north of Winnipeg, where some of the whiskey is mashed, distilled, and aged. We understand, Doug, that you get fired up and you say things in public, but we also understand that you do the right thing when you have a chance to reconsider. Destination Ontario is encouraging fans of heated rivalry to relive their favorite moments from the Crave series by visiting filming locations across the province. The tourism body sharing on social media a list of 6 spots that serve as the backdrop to the lustful hockey show. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Week in Business, we focus in on women entrepreneurship Saskatchewan and welcome in the CEO of that fine organization, Miriam Johnson. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure.
2026 is upon us. Who would have thought the time just goes like this? 2025, you were focusing on rural areas.
Yeah.
Much of the same in 2026?
Yeah, we are. I mean, rural is where half of our population is in Saskatchewan, so definitely focusing on that. But a lot of the tune has changed both federally and provincially on just with where our economic state is in developing both the provincial government, or our provincial economy, and our federal economy. So a lot of our work right now is actually also going to really showcase women-owned businesses and to kind of say, you know, it wasn't until 1974 that women could get a loan with a male cosigner. It wasn't until 1988 that women could receive a business loan without a male cosigner.
Seems wild, doesn't it?
It's wild. So that's why we're within one generation of trying to help grow and scale women-owned businesses. And so what we have is a women-owned business database. So any women-owned business in this entire province can put their name on this database. But we're also encouraging larger corporations to commit to what we call a charter champion program that commits to supporting women-owned businesses through their procurement process. So that's a huge push for us this year.
How important is that connection?
Oh, it's tremendous, because when women don't have the opportunity to win that larger bid, they don't get the opportunity to grow and scale at the same rate. So they kind of stay more stagnant. When they are able to then win these larger bids, that's when scale happens. And so we're really trying to encourage not only women to get their names on and to go for things like this, even if it's a tier 2 spend. And what that means is sometimes their business might go into a larger RFP with a larger organization, but they're the support. They still are able to grow and scale through that.
What's the environment like out there for women? Are they more encouraged than they've ever been?
You know,
starting a new business? Because it's a daunting task for anybody, male, female, or otherwise.
I think I will speak. I have the pleasure of speaking for women-owned businesses, and they are empowered. Like, that is not something that they have ever been challenged with, but I do think that they are still facing tremendous barriers.
What are some of those barriers?
Our number one is access to capital. So the ability to actually have the finances to grow and scale. So, you know, can they get the loan they need at the rate they need? They're much less risk adverse. So they are normally bootstrapping, or actually using their earned cash to start the business rather than going and taking that business loan, which sometimes can be difficult later down the road. So, you know, it's things like that just, there's personality, you know, changes with women to men. But it's...
Don't say.
Yeah. Shock. Sorry, I didn't know we were going there today.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
One of the big things that you do is you connect people with the capital and everything that they need, the access that they need. So if somebody's at home right now watching this conversation and they're thinking, I want to start a business, I don't know how to get started, it's a very daunting task. How do they reach out to your organization and start some of those conversations?
Yeah, west.ca is where you can get all of the information. Or if you, there's a lot of times women have been in business for a long time, and you might feel like you're on an island. You might feel like you're all alone, and that is also where we want you to be able to reach out. If there's any type of pain point that you have, we have business advising, we have access to loans, we have programs and training, we have networking events, but we also have this important database and more of that systemic change advocacy work that we're working on right now to give them more opportunities.
And events throughout the province. You can find on their website, west.ca. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
It's January 14th, and we have these milestones to share with you. Happy 9th birthday to Josie. Lots of love from your family. Happy birthday to Janessa from all of your friends and your family. Braxton is turning 12 today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Emma. Your family hopes your day is extra special. Happy 3rd birthday to Hardy from your mom, dad, Kellen, grandma, and grandpa. And a very happy 25th anniversary to Kevin and Eva. Enjoy your special day.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, you can send us an email at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure to send them at least one day in advance.
There's been a lot written and a lot said. but never from my side of the story.
The official trailer is out for Epic, Elvis Presley in Concert. Director Baz Luhrmann follows up his 2022 dramatic feature on Elvis with a documentary concert film featuring previously unseen archival footage and unheard interviews with the King. Epic, Elvis Presley in Concert debuts on IMAX screens February 20th and in wide theatrical release a week later. Oscar winner Zoe Saldana now has another title, highest grossing actor of all time. According to box office website The Numbers, her films have grossed $16.9 billion worldwide with the success of Avatar, Fire and Ash. The Avatar, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Star Trek franchises have helped to boost that total. The previous record holder was another MCU actress, Scarlett Johansson. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
What's happening over there?
Well, I'm working on a video here to throw up on our socials. Went to the Regina Humane Society yesterday with an adoptable friend. Name is Leo. Big old dog. If you are on a farmyard right now, this guy, he is waiting for you, or just a big yard. He needs some space, though. 3 years old, just adorable, and his adoption fully sponsored, too. So we're going to get all of his details up on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok right away here. And we continue on with our Betty White Challenge for the Regina Humane Society as well. Full list of items that we're after, how to donate online to, all at PureCountry927.ca. But it is the last few days for it. It's going to close up this week, and then Sherwood Co-op matching all donations up to $5,000 in product.
All right, surprise, surprise, social media is definitely not reality, and here's an example in our first sidebar. So just as the caption says, the video of her spilling hot chocolate everywhere while pouring it into a teapot was not on her friend's Instagram story, but what she posted was a perfectly set table with little gingerbread men, marshmallows and a drink, and candles. Reminder that not everything you see is
the bloopers.
real.
That's right. It's a highlight reel.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Surprise.
Hell surprise. What do you got for us?
Well, musicals are all the rage these days, and it's taken over daily life for some.
Oh, no.
I'm ready. Come in, help you. Can I get an iced vanilla cream protein latte? What would be? Iced vanilla cream protein latte.
Sport, I like that.
So this guy decided to sing his order at the Starbucks drive-thru, and to his delight, the worker on the other end sang back. Everyone in the car committed to the impromptu musical and sang their orders as well. This is the energy I think we all need.
We don't have the musical rights, so I won't ask you to recreate it, Jeremy, but I heard tell that maybe you and Mike Siona were singing a little Danny Boy in your newsroom.
Oh, no, I can't sing it, you said? Sorry.
Don't do it. That'll cost me some cash. You don't want to do it. Time out. News headlines and your weather forecast right after this. It's Wednesday, January 14th.
Almost every quid pro quo in terms of easing relations with China comes with huge complexity.
Trying to advance trade while considering needs here at home, the Prime Minister has a fine line to balance as he starts his visit to China today.
Everybody stop by here. Some just say sorry, some hug me, some shake a hand.
One of China's older food establishments damaged by fire inside early Monday morning.
Cross ice feed now has it. Brett sneaking his way in. Brett on a backhand, and they score!
And the Prince Albert Raiders climb back into the win column. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Janelle. Thank you for being back with us.
Yeah, it felt like spring out there. I feel like we should be getting ready for mowing lawns and stuff. What's going on?
I wish. It was
where is that? When is that minus 50 week that we're going to get inevitably?
We aren't expecting to get it anytime soon. However, the winds tomorrow might make it feel pretty close.
My trash can didn't go nearly as far as you said it was going to yesterday. was really disappointed. It's only like
Tell me tomorrow. Tell me tomorrow.
2 feet. Let's get your news headlines. We'll get your weather in just a minute. Prime Minister Mark Carney will arrive in China this morning for a short but high-stakes visit. Prime Minister is expected to meet with senior government leaders tomorrow before a face-to-face with Xi Jinping on Friday. To strike any kind of deal, the Prime Minister will have to work through years of tension built up with China. He also has to keep in mind the provinces have needs and territories that are very different. For example, dropping the EV tariff will make canola farmers in Saskatchewan happy, but it will upset auto workers in Ontario. Before leaving for China, the Prime Minister met with coastal First Nations leaders in BC.
It is a day, as I say, for dialogue, for listening and working. There will be a time for coming back with progress, particularly with respect to conservation.
Coastal First Nations leaders are still adamantly opposed to a new pipeline and easing the tanker ban. If Ottawa does move ahead with the pipeline project, First Nations say they will use every tool at their disposal to stop it. Instead of a pipeline, they want to promote other economic projects like LNG and ecotourism. We're getting a better glimpse into Scott Moe's schedule as he joins the Prime Minister in China for those conversations. According to a senior source within the provincial government, Moe was in Vietnam on holiday, and discussions began late last week with the Prime Minister's office about him coming along. Moe was able to make the arrangements and secured the appropriate visas for the visit. The mission is mainly focused on restoring trade ties between our countries. Saskatchewan's NDP says all avenues towards creating more access is crucial.
That port access is the number one issue. It's the bottleneck that does not allow us to diversify our markets and be able to make sure that we are able to trade all over the world, not just to the south of us.
The province has been exploring several options for more port access for Saskatchewan goods, including a memorandum of understanding with the government signed with Manitoba on the Port of Churchill last year. As producers gather for the 43rd annual Western Canadian Crop Production Show, many in attendance are paying close attention to those international trade discussions. It was announced on Monday that the Premier would be joining Mark Carney, as we mentioned, in China. Many at this conference shared hope that indicates Saskatchewan will have a seat at the table in conversations regarding international tariffs, particularly on Canadian canola.
My optimism would probably be on the higher end now that there's going to be some resolve, if not immediate, probably in the very near future. I would have to think for the Prime Minister to be going that they probably think that there's some end to this, and I would hope that there would.
The crop show runs, by the way, until Thursday. And more reaction this morning over violence reported at a Saskatoon hospital. Jeremy Dodge is all over this for us. Take us to St. Paul's Hospital, what staff are saying.
Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, they're saying violence in the emergency department is becoming all too common, and it is time for the province to address it. Keenan Sorokhan has more on the calls for action.
Melissa McGilvery is hoping a letter signed by more than 200 staff at St. Paul's Hospital Emergency Department will get the attention of leadership.
Perhaps people would pause and listen.
The letter has dozens of testimonials detailing knives, guns, and even a grenade being brought into the hospital. It warns that violent incidents are not only possible, but probable. One worker describes watching a security guard get stabbed multiple times for asking someone in the waiting room to stop smoking. A protective vest helped avoid serious injuries. Another worker describes having a patient spit blood in their face and mouth, and another watched a patient bite a nursing student to the point of bleeding, knowing the harm it would have so early in her career.
I don't want to use the word burnout because it's not that staff don't want to provide care, it's that they don't feel safe to provide care.
The letter calls for leadership to meet with staff and visit the unit outside of photo ops or ceremonies. Workers also want more security on staff and to have metal detectors put in place. Until then, they want security to use the handheld metal detectors they say are in storage.
What I see is that the workers don't really have input into what is happening in their work area.
The union representing security staff at Saskatchewan hospitals says security isn't just calming people down in inpatient waiting rooms, they're also being tasked with addressing serious incidents.
I don't know what security gets paid, but it is not enough.
The SHA says actions are underway to enhance safety and security protocols in facilities, and the piloted use of metal detectors at the Royal University Hospital hospital will help guide future deployment at other urban centers. Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell says he's been meeting with the Saskatchewan Health Authority to discuss these current challenges, and he'll have more to say in the coming days. Keenan Sorakhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
All right, Daryl, back to you with a new survey suggesting some pessimism when it comes to affordability out there.
Shocker, right? 7 out of 10 residents in Saskatchewan and Manitoba expect the cost of living to get worse in 2026. The Myers-Norris Penny Consumer Debt Index found 72% of respondents anticipate higher living costs. 56% expect more housing pressure. 53% are preparing for a worsening economy and interest rates and inflation stresses. Half of the respondents in the provinces say they are within $200 of not being able to pay their bills each month, up 7 points from the last time they did this survey. Significantly fewer residents report having 6 months of emergency savings, down 10% this quarter. Almost 2 of 3 respondents say they need interest rates to come down from the current 2.25%. Canadians have kicked off the new year with plans to make big spending cuts. A survey found 2/3 of Canadians are expected to slash their budgets, with some targeting savings on food. Jean-Vieux Beauchemin reports.
This Italian grocery store and sandwich counter is whimsically called Tony Bologna.
So we make small batch every day.
On the menu at this father and son shop, a focus on best quality for the lowest price.
Just like I have families to feed, they have families to feed. So the goal was to make sure that people can feed their family at a low price, but without giving up quality. The pasta, we have it at $1.75 a bag. We make homemade tomato sauces, meat sauce, and rosé, and all the classics. So you can feed a family of 4 for $7 for a plate of pasta.
That hits the spot. A TD survey found 2/3 of Canadians say they plan to slash their monthly budgets by up to $1,000 a month. 55% say they'll cut on eating out, 44% on attending concerts, sporting events, movies. Many plan other belt-tightening measures like cutting down on subscriptions and fewer retail purchases. But it seems younger Canadians appear set to make more sacrifices. A whopping 86% of Gen Z say they're preparing to slash their budget. Compare that to 43% of boomers.
They're leaning in more into their loyalty programs, into budgeting, and also into no spending challenges, which are becoming very popular with this younger generation.
McDonald's is vying to tap into the budget squeeze. The fast food chain is freezing the price of some menu items for a year. For instance, $5 for the Meg Value Trio. This, as a recent study found, more than 4,000 restaurants could close this year. At Tony Bologna's, father and son say people still gotta eat, and they want to feed neighborhood families well.
So that's why we even have all the ingredients here at the low price that you could go home and do it yourself if you want to.
And we'll have to see just how long Canadians will be forced to stick to that resolution to cut back.
Amid ongoing tensions between Canada and the U.S. over the Trump trade war, some Canadian snowbirds now reevaluating their winter getaways, while others are looking forward to another trip south next year. CTVnews.ca interviewed a flock of snowbirds about their experiences with their American counterparts and properties. One couple said they no longer feel welcome in the U.S. and are now spending their winters in Mexico. Another snowbird says they still enjoy staying at a vacation home in Florida, but the biggest concern is the exchange rate. A survey by Snowbird Advisor shows 70% plan to spend this winter in the U.S. compared to 82% last year. That's a 15% decline in year-over-year snowbird travel to the U.S. The Saskatchewan Crop Forum is underway in Saskatoon, kicked off by a major funding announcement from the federal and provincial governments. The federal Agriculture Minister Heath MacDonald and Minister of Agriculture for Saskatchewan David Merritt, on your screen, announced $9.7 million to support crop research in Saskatchewan. That's $7.2 million for 39 crop research projects and $2.5 million for long-term management studies on herbicide-resistant kochia and wild oats. Some of this year's crop projects include evaluating the performance of subsurface drip irrigation, resistance to wheat stem sawfly, and more.
This ADF program is really valuable in that sense. We can address needs for industry and producer groups, do the necessary research, but also making sure that we're addressing relevant questions for farmers in Saskatchewan and in Western Canada in general.
The money is invested through the Agriculture Development Fund under the Sustainable Canadian Agricultural Partnership. The past year was the third warmest on record and stood on the cusp of surpassing a major climate threshold globally, according to new data from the European Climate Agency. Copernicus data indicated 2025 was around 1.47 degrees warmer than pre-industrial levels. At the current rate, the 2015 Paris Agreement's long-term global warming limit of 1.5 degrees could be reached by the end of the decade, about a decade earlier than predicted when the pact was signed. The agency has said that in a press release. Canada is warming faster than the global average, leading to an increased loss of snow and sea ice and more wildfires, heat waves, and storms. Prince Albert Raiders scored 3 goals in the third period to get back into the win column. Easy for me to say.
Cross ice feed now has it. Brett sneaking his way in. Brett on a backhand, and they score!
Riley Boychuk, Owen Corkish, and Braden Dubé scored in the third. The Raiders beat the Brandon Wheat Kings 5-3 at the Art Hauser last night. Raiders have won 8 of their last 10.
Batted around a couple of skates. Now Ben Miller carries in. Back down to McDonough. Centered. Save made. Rebound. They score. Carson Dick.
And the Portland Winterhawks held the Moose Jaw Warriors off the scoreboard last night in a 5-0 win. Warriors continue their U.S. road trip tonight in Everett against the Silvertips. Our attention turns now to the Weather Center. 12 Saskatchewan communities, 12 breaking records yesterday, Janelle.
That's right. The Cypress Hills area was the warmest record breaker at 10.6 degrees, up just slightly from the record set in 1996. Meadow Lake reached a high of 8.4, beating its old record set in 1985 of 4.1. Prince Albert, Melfort, Nipawin, and Waskesiu Lake also setting records. Maple Creek just missed setting a record, but still saw a high of 12 degrees and was the hot spot in the province. As for Saskatoon, again, no record set, but we did see 4.9 degrees, and Regina saw 3.6. Now let's take a look at these current temperatures. As you can see behind me, or as you can't see behind me, we are looking very foggy out here in Regina. Visibility is very low. Make sure you're taking your time on your morning commute. Currently -4 out there, so still beautiful temperatures, feeling quite nice. Those winds are headed south at about 13 kilometers per hour. Over to Saskatoon now, -6. Again, south winds at about 9 kilometers per hour. Now both Regina and Saskatoon areas are expecting to see a little bit of a cloudier day here, which leads us into some precipitation, some snow tomorrow. But for right now, let's look at these wind gusts, because today we're looking quite calm out there. However, tomorrow we're going to see these wind speeds climb. So as of today, we're anywhere between about 15 and 30 kilometer per hour winds. Again, beautiful day. We are expecting to see that temperature drop a little bit tomorrow with those wind speeds. Now for current temps across the province, Buffalo Narrows at -1, Spiritwood right at 1 degree, Melfort -4, Hudson Bay -11, the Battlefords -4, East End and Swift Current both at 0 degrees, Estevan -4, and Yorkton -10. For our highs today, the Battlefords will be seeing about 3 degrees rather. Prince Albert 2 degrees and experiencing some of that fog. Yorkton -1. Estevan and Weyburn both at 1 degree, and Moose Jaw 4. Now for our 7-day forecast right here in Regina, 1 degree is our high for today. Again, seeing quite a cloudy day coming towards us. And tomorrow we are seeing that snow falling down as well. 0 degrees as the high for Thursday. So it will come down, it will melt, then it will freeze with our evening low of -11. And those winds are headed northwest at about 48 kilometers per hour. We get into the weekend, however, and those temperatures and wind speeds are looking quite nice. Saturday -4 and Sunday -14. Now for Saskatoon, 2 degrees today. Tomorrow 0 degrees, also seeing that snowfall, and winds headed northwest at 47 kilometers per hour. But another beautiful weekend ahead. Saturday -2, seeing more sunshine. Sunday a little bit cooler at -14, but again, another sunny day to wrap up our weekend. All right, let's take a look at that rural forecast for today. Meadow Lake at 5 degrees, Lloydminster 4, along with Spiritwood. Wynyard 1 degree in Hudson Bay at -1. Leader for Maple Creek 12. We've got Carlisle at -1 and Broadview 0 degrees. Now let's take a look at Carnduff, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. Today feeling like -1 out there, cloudy with some sunny breaks, mainly cloudy skies. Those winds are headed south at about 10 to 25 kilometers per hour.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is on his way to Beijing for a short but consequential visit as China and Canada try to move past years of diplomatic tensions, and Ottawa pushes to double non-U.S. trade by 2035. It is Carney's pragmatic foreign policy in action, says Asia Pacific Foundation Vice President Veena Najibullah. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew calling on Ontario Premier Doug Ford to drop plans for a boycott of Crown Royal whiskey, writing Ford's name on a barrel outside the plant north of Winnipeg, where some of the whiskey is mashed, distilled, and aged. We understand, Doug, that you get fired up and you say things in public, but we also understand that you do the right thing when you have a chance to reconsider. Destination Ontario is encouraging fans of Heated Rivalry to relive their favorite moments from the Crave series by visiting filming locations across the province. The tourism body sharing on social media a list of 6 spots that serve as the backdrop to the lustful hockey show. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
The Berlin seals are hitting the water for another winter dip. How many Canadian dollars for you to just go and jump in Buffalo Pound Lake or go out to Echo Valley and just plunge right now?
It wouldn't take me that much.
Free?
Free.
Jeremy's doing it for free.
Jeremy and I will do it
I
for
would love
free.
the opportunity. Yeah, I'd like, I mean, we need a group organized or do it for TV or something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out there by myself. But.
They've been doing this. This group's been doing this for 40 years. It's only about -8 out there, so pretty much like it is here in Saskatchewan today. They go every Sunday from mid-September to the end of April. It's also so popular they've capped membership at 190 people. So,
wow.
People are waiting to get in.
Very sought-after experience.
There it is.
There it is.
Question of the day. We are talking about dressing up your pets. We're showing pictures because it is National Dress Up Your Pet Day. There's a QR code to send yours in. Let's see what we got last hour.
Oh. All right, well, let's take a look here. Donna is sending us these photos of her Christmas fur babies. She says they don't like to dress up. We didn't get a name for this cutie, but Cheryl.
I know.
But coming up here, Cheryl sent us this photo of a very cool dog.
We scrolled through all of them so fast I have no idea whose dog is who, but thank you for sending in your pictures. Let's put the QR code up on the screen and see if we can figure this all out for next hour. Text your name or your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. Remember to attach the photo. We did get a couple of people saying we like to put our dogs in jackets or whatever. We need the picture. That's what we want. Or scan that QR code and attach the picture. Send it on in to us. Your morning mystery is next. Time for your morning mystery. We are told it is a dog today.
Okay.
Maybe a dog in a costume. Let's find out. Famous fluffy Pomeranian. I'm out.
Okay, I actually maybe
holds Guinness World Records for fastest dog on 2 paws. And appeared in Katy Perry's Dark Horse, Target commercials, and has his own book. I have no idea.
I don't know.
What's Paris Hilton's dog name?
Wait.
What?
Let's go with. Let's go. This is wrong. But if you're going to be wrong, be spectacularly
I don't know.
wrong. If you're going to be wrong, be spectacular. Are you drunk? That's a sheep. That's a sheep. I wrote Scooby-Doo. That's wrong. That's not right. What do you got? What'd you put?
Is it?
Oh, move it over a little bit. It's not in the frame.
I have no idea.
It's not in the frame.
No,
sorry.
I have no idea.
Well, I'm going to give her creative Jif Palm. What's Jif Palm?
Hey, who is that?
What?
Who is this?
Congratulations, Jif Palm, on being you, I guess. That's
all right.
That's today's morning mystery, and it's going to forever be a mystery to me.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
All right, let's take a look at the school day forecast brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. In Regina, by the time you get onto the bus, -3. When noon rolls around, we'll be hitting -2. And about 3 p.m., final bell, 1 degree. Over to Saskatoon now, by the time you get onto the bus, -6. And at lunchtime, 0 degrees, final bell, 2 degrees. As we go to break, here's a look at today's gas prices. The common cost to fill up in Regina and Saskatoon is $1.79. You can find regular fuel in both cities for as low as $1.029. Taking a look at the farm markets, the street price of canola is $571.42 per ton, and the futures price is $632.80 per ton. For Amber Durham wheat, it's $274.92 per ton, and Red Spring wheat is $250.32 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 72.01 cents US. Ahead in news, Saskatoon is marking a new era of basketball as the Rattlers get to set the rebrand. Those details are coming up.
Just about 7:30 on your morning. Thank you for waking up with us. We begin with the Prime Minister just arriving in Beijing. He's in China for those high-level talks with senior officials on Thursday and Chinese President Xi Jinping, which will happen on Friday. Trade will be high on the agenda as Canada looks for relief from canola, pork and seafood tariffs. Talks may also lead to more collaboration in areas like energy and climate. This is the first time a Canadian Prime Minister has visited China since 2017. The free trade agreement between Canada, the U.S. and Mexico is up for review this year, but according to the U.S. president, it's, quote, irrelevant.
Canada would love it. Canada wants it. They need it because we don't need Canada product. That's the thing. You know, I want to be a nice person, but we don't need. I want to build the cars here, not in Canada.
And Trump went on to say he doesn't care about the CUSMA agreement. He made those comments while visiting a Ford factory in Michigan. The trade deal is up for mandatory review with formal talks set to begin this month ahead of the July deadline. The U.S. president also made it clear he doesn't want cheaper Chinese electric vehicles, and neither does the Ontario Premier.
Would not be good for Ontario and Canada, and it sure the heck wouldn't be good for the U.S., and it wouldn't be good when it comes to negotiating with President Trump. Thank you so much.
Premier Ford held a news conference after meeting with Republican and Democratic representatives from Michigan's state legislature on trade. Doug Ford says any deal with China that would remove tariffs on Chinese-made electric vehicles would ultimately hurt Ontario's economy. There has been speculation that Canada could be looking to lift the EV tariffs on China in exchange for China lifting canola tariffs on Canada. Officials from Greenland and Denmark will be in Washington for meetings with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio amid stepped-up threats by President Donald Trump to take over resources in the resource-rich Arctic island. White House officials have been discussing plans to bring Greenland under American control. Those options have ranged from lump sum payments to Greenlanders to potential use of U.S. military. For their part, Greenlanders say the island, which is a region of Denmark, is not for sale.
We're happy that those diplomatic solutions are being sought out. And what comes out of them, we'll see. We've seen a lot of rhetoric from all sides. And what we've been needing for over a year is actual diplomatic talks about the situation, about the relationship between the U.S. and Greenland, about the relationship between Greenland and Denmark, and the relationship between U.S. and Denmark.
And the president posting this message this morning, renewing his claim that the United States needs Greenland for national security. He then veered off with some criticism about NATO and warnings about the role Greenland will play in his Golden Defense Dome. And now to the latest on the deadly protests in Iran, as the country's top judge is promising fast trials and executions for people who were detained in the crackdown on the nationwide anti-government protests. This in spite of threats from U.S. President Donald Trump to take very strong action if executions take take place. Details of the scope of the crackdown are finally beginning to emerge as phone and internet service are being restored. Communications were cut during the protests when they broke out. The U.S.-based human rights activist agency said today that a number of people killed climbed to more than 2,500. Iranian authorities have accused the United States and Israel of inciting the unrest. Iran has warned its neighbors hosting U.S. troops that it will hit American bases if the United States strikes Iran. Closer to home, the provincial auditor will not be initiating or conducting a separate investigation into a deadly carbon monoxide leak in Regina. 11-year-old Henry Lasco died in the CO leak in his family's apartment building on December 19th. The auditor's office says it recognizes the profound loss and seriousness of the concerns raised. Regina Fire is currently leading a multi-agency investigation. There has been a slight decline in the number of people found to be living homeless during last October's annual point-in-time count. Organizations that work with the homeless say the decrease is a step in the right direction. Wayne Mantica reports.
Is there anything that would stop?
Over 150 volunteers took to Regina streets last October to survey how many people were without housing. They found fewer than the year previous.
Even though the numbers were only reduced slightly, we also housed over 400 people in the last year.
The October 2nd point-in-time count identified 767 people without housing. That was 57 fewer than the year earlier, but still far more than a previous count in 2021. Namarand Housing coordinated the pit count.
But I think what the numbers show by this reduction is it shows me that the money that we're spending is working.
Those still facing housing insecurity hope to transition into something permanent soon.
They help you out, those workers in those shelters, so they get you prepared for when you got to go back to society or transitioning into society.
In the meantime, they are grateful for community generosity.
You know what was nice to see during Christmas? There's a lot of people that were stopping by here with donations and keeping us alive, feeding us and stuff.
Like bringing us firewood and stuff so we're not cold at night, and like also food like turkey meals.
Those who organized the annual point-in-time count called it an opportunity to connect with people on the street that possibly could change the direction of people's lives. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
Alberta's top doctor says flu season in the province has likely peaked.
This season, we had an early peak, and it was also predominant strain of influenza A, H3N2. This is typically a strain of influenza that is more severe.
As of yesterday, there were 513 people in Alberta in hospital with influenza cases. That number was about 700 on New Year's Eve. Alberta's top doctor is warning you, the public, that flu season may not be over, but it may have peaked. The majority of people hospitalized with the flu this season were not immunized, and it's not too late to get your flu shot. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has put the brakes on proposed changes to animal health traceability requirements. Jacob Carr on the decision.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency's decision to hit the pause button on proposed additional regulations on animal traceability is music to the ears of organizations like the Saskatchewan Cattle Association.
Saskatchewan Cattle Association called for a halt to these regulations, and we've been repeatedly and strongly advocating that movement tracking cannot be burdensome or onerous on our producers.
According to Ross, traceability involves the ID of an animal, the premise ID to show where the animal is located, and other tracking of things like disease history. The province's Ministry of Agriculture is also pleased that the federal government has put a temporary halt to the possible changes, saying further discussions are needed with industry stakeholders and provincial agricultural ministers.
The federal minister assured me that we would try to get it on the agenda at the next FPT meeting and have some discussions further on really making sure that the cow-calf producers and others aren't so impacted by some of the regulation changes that CFIA had recommended.
The CFIA says that a modern and reliable traceability system will allow animals to be tracked through the production system, supports faster and more targeted disease response, and helps limit impacts on producers, communities, and trade. But Ross says the regulations as proposed, if passed, will tack on to the workload and the bill for Saskatchewan cattle producers.
For our cow-calf producers, there's going to be a little bit of extra scanning and going to be some more equipment needed and that type of thing. For our fairs and exhibitions, there's going to be some extra equipment.
The CFIA says they will continue to consult about the regulations to those in the cattle industry, along with agricultural associations and governments. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Scott Adams, the creator of the popular comic strip Dilbert, has died. At its height, the Dilbert comic strip had its own TV series and appeared in 2,000 newspapers worldwide in at least 70 countries and 25 languages. There were also multiple books, and it all came to an abrupt halt in 2023. That's when Adams was dropped by some of the largest newspapers following a racist remark made on his YouTube show. Last year, Adams revealed that prostate cancer had spread to his bones. Scott Adams was 68. The Saskatchewan Rattlers have fired their general manager and vice president of basketball operations, while quietly it looks like moving towards a potential rebrand. The club making the announcement that Barry Rawlick's contract is not being renewed. He spent 7 seasons at the helm. 14 years prior, he was the U of S head coach. They've also taken the Rattlers off of their social media pages, and right now all it says is Saskatoon Professional Basketball Club. Interesting developments there. Sounds like a new name, new era.
That's right. Time for
Probably
some
play
news.
basketball outside right now. It's so warm.
It's beautiful. Goodness. Yes. I don't know if I would necessarily do that quite
might
yet.
Might slip.
You might slip, but it's still beautiful out. So follow your heart on that one, but be safe. As you can see behind me here, though, there is lots more to see now. We are starting to see visibility clear up. Let's look at that current temperature, -4. Seeing those wind speeds at 15 kilometers per hour is headed south. And again, once that sun does rise, we are expecting to see a cloudier day today, which will lead us into some snow tomorrow. Over to Saskatoon now, -6. Winds headed south at about 9 kilometers per hour. Again, still seeing some cloud cover in the sky. Now let's look at those wind speeds. Today we aren't expecting to see much for strong wind. However, tomorrow you'll start to notice things climbing. Today, however, from morning until this evening, we'll be seeing anywhere from 15 to close to 30 kilometer per hour winds. For our current temperatures here today, Buffalo Narrows is at -1, Spiritwood 1 degree, Hudson Bay -11, South End -14, Battleford's -4, Kindersley -5. We've got Weyburn -3, Estevan -4, and Yorkton sitting at about -9. For our highs today, the Battleford's seeing about 3 degrees, Swift Current 7, Prince Albert 2, and seeing some of that fog still. Yorkton -1, Estevan and Weyburn both at 1 degree. For our 5-day forecast right here in Regina, 1 degree as our high for today, seeing some cloud cover in the sky. As I mentioned earlier, it does lead us into some snowfall tomorrow. Still seeing 0 degrees, but we will be hitting that low of about -11, which will make things a little bit slippery from melting to freezing. Now for those wind speeds, they are expected to be about 48 kilometer per hour winds, so that will make things feel cooler than what this temperature is showing. We'll wrap up the week on Friday with -9. Over to Saskatoon now, 2 degrees as that high for today. Tomorrow seeing that snow coming as well. 0 degrees, -12 is our low in the evening, and those winds in Saskatoon and area headed northwest at about 47 kilometers per hour. Now although Thursday is supposed to be a breezy day, we are hitting Friday with much nicer temperatures, much nicer wind speeds. -8 as that high, and those winds are going down to about 18 kilometers per hour on Friday, and we're kicking off the weekend on Saturday with that high of -2.
Hello everyone, Glenn Sheeler inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday, and for it, let's go to Washington for the Habs and Caps. Montreal with a 2-on-1. Cole Caulfield is stopped by Logan Thompson, jumps on the rebound, feeds Alexander Texier, but he is absolutely robbed. Look at a sprawling Logan Thompson sliding across, making the incredible save. That is why he was named to Canada's Olympic roster. Thompson with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And tonight on TSN, it's Tangerine Raptors basketball. Raps taking on the Pacers. Tip-off for that, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's all from the newsroom, everyone. Have a great day.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
University of Regina Cougars women's basketball team undefeated on the season, now 4th ranked nationally. They are led by Michaela Kleisinger, the head coach, the interim head coach, soon to be hopefully not interim. And Kara Miskey is on the court for that program. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's talk about this 12-0 start. I mean, you can't draw it up any better than this.
Well, I guess statistically, no, Daryl, you can't. But yeah, it's been incredible. I was saying yesterday, those first 10 were, we wanted to get those. They really we wanted to be in that sort of mix with these other top teams. But this past weekend kind of really showed us where we're at. And it's good to see that we're still in it.
Kara, what's the difference between Dave Taylor coached Regina Cougars team and a Michaela Kleisinger coach team?
Honestly, this year from last year has been a huge difference. It's a really positive and more uplifting environment. And they're very different, but similar in a lot of ways. And hey, we're doing well, so don't change it.
Speaking of doing well, you're coming very close to a club record with most assists. Does that mean something to you?
I mean, I couldn't get an assist without my teammates, so got to give it all to them. I'm just giving them the ball and they're putting it in. So, I mean, it is pretty cool to hold that record, and it's pretty cool that Michaela is right there with me too.
Yeah, that's pretty neat, right? Let's talk about just what Kara means to your team. I mean, we see it each and every weekend.
Yes. Kara is the energy of our team. She is completely the spark. She'll tell you firsthand, she is always wanting to bring joy to the people around her, right? You see it in the school she's taking, you see it in how she shows up for us, but she is truly the energy, the driving force. She's definitely driving the bus and people are on it. So we can't do what we do without her, and I mean, you saw that on the weekend, so I'm very fortunate to have a leader like her, for sure.
Kara, you're ranked 4th. The U of S is ranked a little bit above you. You want to catch them, and both teams undefeated. That matchup's coming very, very soon. If you're at home and you haven't bought a ticket yet, you can get them at the door. How much do you look forward to that matchup and beating that team?
I've been waiting for it all year. Hopefully we're still undefeated by the time we get there, and then it'll be even sweeter.
What's the plan of attack? I mean, everybody's coming in to try to beat you guys. How do you adjust to that kind of pressure?
I think it's just every day keeping the same energy. We don't know what the other team's going to give us, right? So
Dinos gave you quite a scare on the weekend.
Yeah, so yes. We just got to keep going in that game. Michaela said it. We got to keep playing Cougar basketball every single quarter, and I think if we do that for the full game, we're going to win.
What's Cougar basketball look like for somebody who's never come out to see it?
It's high energy. It's fast paced. Right now we're the fastest team in the country, so that's
the girls are loud.
The girls are loud, but that's a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah, we just honestly, Cougar basketball it's focused but it's fun. We're trying to perform at a high level and have a good time doing it. So I think we're doing an okay job so far.
We're going to help Michaela do a little recruiting here because there's some young ladies out there watching that want to play university basketball somewhere. Why come to the U?
Michaela, honestly, it's not just about winning games, but it's about our team culture and how much fun and joy we're having being there together. I mean, this has been my favorite year so far, and I give a lot of that credit to Michaela.
Speed, the name of your game?
Yes, yeah. I mean, we're running teams out of the gym, and I mean, we're deep enough to do it, which is really helpful, right? That's hard to do if you can only go 5 or 6 deep, but we're managing to go 10, 11 and just keep the pace up and score at a high clip, so that's helping.
I know she's doing a little bit of managing minutes, load management, we might call it if we're in a professional setting. Has that been beneficial for you as athletes?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she sees me come in and I'm a little wobbly now that I'm in my 6th year of playing. So we talk about it, but she knows that now in the second half and going into playoffs, I'm ready to go for 40 minutes or however long she needs me. So
this weekend is big. Every weekend is big. What are we looking forward to?
Yeah, big weekend. We were just talking about it. It's hard to beat teams on the road. So we're just, going in with more focus, trying to get 2 more wins. But we know that every team presents challenges. I mean, Winnipeg is bigger and they're very athletic. So, yeah, we'll try to do our part to keep running. But they're the 2nd fastest team in the country. So we might have
don't want to get into track meet.
Exactly. We might have to try to slow it down a bit this weekend. So we'll see how it goes.
CougarsandRams.com for tickets and all your information that you need, including that merch.
It's It's January 14th, and we have these milestones to share with you. Happy 9th birthday to Josie. Lots of love from your family. Happy birthday to Janessa. This is coming from all your friends and family. Braxton is turning 12 today. Happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to Emma. Your family hopes your day is extra special. Happy 3rd birthday to Hardy from your mom, dad, Kellen, grandma, and grandpa. And a very happy 25th anniversary to Kevin and Eva. Enjoy your special day.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, you can send us an email at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure to send them at least one day in advance.
What's happening on the radio, Chase?
We got our Country Minute on the way. Some more new music to talk about. Albums coming out left and right, but Megan Rooney just gave us some details on the new album. Some great collaborations, including Ed Sheeran, Casey Musgraves on that as well, and a brand new single dropping this Friday. So we'll give you a sneak peek of that. And then later on in the 8 o'clock hour, some tickets for Tennille Towns. It is the Living Room Tour coming to Casino Regina Show Lounge. So your time in the living room, that is what has helped you to win these tickets. We're playing Whose Line Is It Anyway? I give you a clip from a famous TV show, and you have to tell me who speaks next. It is multiple choice, so it's nice and easy. And if you are an expert in everything in The Office, that's going to help you out this morning.
Good clues. You can check them out on the iHeartRadio app as well. Chase, thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.
Trevor Noah is on board to host the Grammy Awards one last time. This will be Noah's 6th consecutive year hosting the ceremony. Nominees this year include Kendrick Lamar, Sabrina Carpenter, and Bad Bunny. The Grammy Awards will air on CBS and Paramount Plus on Sunday, February 1st. BTS is going back on tour. The K-pop boy band will launch their 79-show world tour in South Korea on April 9th. BTS's new album is set to release on March 20th. It comes after a nearly 4-year hiatus, during which the group's members completed their mandatory military service. Adrian Brody and Tessa Thompson are headed to Broadway. Both stars will be making their debuts on The Great White Way in The Fear of 13 this spring. And happy birthday to actor Jason Bateman. The Arrested Development and Ozark star turns 57 years old today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
Here's a baby that was born to shred. Take a look at little Otto. 16 months, he can stand on skis with the help of dad, slide down the snow. Arya's 15 months, she's fallen off the couch. This little guy's skiing.
Well, those boots do a lot to keep them upright, true. I'm sure, but that's still pretty impressive.
Very
pretty
impressive.
Good stuff.
This is where we need the Instagram versus reality.
Yes, no kidding.
Otto.
Yeah, baby Otto.
Aww.
Jeremy, what do you have for us?
Okay, we're gonna have this proof that social media definitely not reality. Yeah, so she spills hot chocolate everywhere, but what she puts on Instagram, this beautiful tea party and gingerbread men, marshmallows, candles. Just a reminder, don't believe everything you see on social media.
So you mean that picture I posted of my dog yesterday batting at Fenway Park is not real?
Can you believe it?
Imagine.
I can't. It was shocker.
Preposterous.
I can't believe it.
Wow. Close this out, Janelle.
All right, well, musicals are all the rage these days, and it's taken over daily life for some.
I'm ready.
Come and help you.
Can I get an iced vanilla cream protein latte?
What was it?
Iced vanilla cream protein latte. Let me do crossing.
I like that they participated. That was good.
This is fantastic. This guy decided to sing his order at Starbucks, and to his delight, the worker on the other end sang back. This is great energy.
Every year at Tim Hortons Camp Day, they let me run the headset for the drive-thru, which is preposterous. You should never do that. And I say absurd stuff to people, and some of them love it, and some do not.
Yeah. Yep, I did bear witness to that.
They said they get the most complaints, but the most donations every year. We're back after this. It's Wednesday, January 14th.
We were at a point where we felt the need to do something.
A Saskatoon nurse says violence in Saskatoon emergency departments is all too common. Now they want the province to step in.
That port access is the #1 issue. It's the bottleneck that does not allow us to diversify our markets. And
we're getting a better glimpse into Scott Moe's schedule as he heads to China.
And have some discussions further on really making sure that the cow-calf producers and others aren't so impacted by some of the regulation changes that CFIA had recommended.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has put a pause on proposed amendments to traceability and health of animals. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I am Janelle. Thank you for being back with us.
I like that in our morning mystery today, if you missed it, it was Jeff Palm, the Pomeranian.
Something like that.
Was the answer. She drew like a sheep. I wish I could get your board.
It was for sure.
Like a sheep with antennae.
You know, I've never been great at art.
Have you considered a career in abstract art?
I don't think it would go well for me.
Could you drop some sunshine for us today at least?
Yes, I can drop a little bit.
Okay.
Some clouds, but some sunshine.
Let's see what your headlines have in store for you, and then we'll get into your weather. The Prime Minister has arrived in Beijing. He's in China for those high-level talks with senior officials and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Trade will be high on the agenda as Canada looks for relief from canola, pork, and seafood tariffs. As you see, they rolled out the red carpet for them. Talks may also lead to more collaboration in areas like energy and climate. This is the first time a Canadian Prime Minister has visited China since 2017. And Prime Minister Carney is in China for that short visit. We'll continue on past this story to the next one, which is the BC meeting with coastal First Nations. They are still adamantly opposed to a new pipeline and easing a tanker ban. If Ottawa does move ahead with the pipeline project, First Nations say they will use every tool in their disposal to stop it. To Minnesota now, and a hearing expected today as Minnesota and the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul challenge the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. The state is suing the Department of Homeland Security, seeking a court order to stop immigration enforcement operations. The suit claims Operation Metro Surge is not a legitimate law enforcement action, and DHS says the boost of agents is required because Minnesota politicians are not protecting their citizens. The legal action comes after the fatal ICE shooting of U.S. citizen and mother Renee Good, which sparked widespread protests. These tense scenes from last night where federal officers threw flashbangs and used tear gas on activists in Minneapolis. Homeland Security is pledging to send over 2,000 more officers to the state. We're getting a better glimpse into Premier Scott Moe's schedule as he heads to China, a trip coinciding with the Prime Minister. According to a senior source within the government of Saskatchewan, he was on holiday in Vietnam. Discussions began late last week with the PMO about him joining in those conversations. Moe was able to make the arrangements. I'm sure his wife was very happy about that. He secured the appropriate visas for the visit. The mission is mainly focused on restoring trade ties between Canada and China. The NDP here say all avenues towards global access is a positive.
That port access is the #1 issue. It's the bottleneck that does not allow us to diversify our markets and be able to make sure that we are able to trade all over the world, not just to the south of us.
The province has been exploring several options for more port access for Saskatchewan goods, including a memorandum of understanding with Manitoba at the Port of Churchill signed last year. A Saskatoon nurse says violence in the emergency department far too common, and it's time for the province to step in and address it. What precipitates this, Jeremy Dodge?
Well, Daryl, this is following a number of violent and potentially dangerous situations at St. Paul's Hospital. Dozens of staff in the emergency department have now written a letter calling for immediate action. The letter had dozens of testimonials detailing knives, guns, even a grenade being brought into the hospital. One nurse was bitten and bleeding during her first shift. Many others say they no longer feel safe providing care, hoping the province will address their concerns with more security and metal detectors. To start,
we were at a point where we felt the need to do something, and we were hopeful that if we candidly share these experiences, provide an opportunity for folks to feel safe in sharing their experiences, ensure that everyone had an opportunity to participate, perhaps people would pause and listen.
Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell says he has been meeting with the health authority to discuss those challenges, and he'll have more to say on that in the coming days. A public inquest into the death of an inmate who died while serving time at Saskatchewan Penitentiary is scheduled for next month in Prince Albert. It was on November 28th of 2022. 28-year-old Brandon Lepkowski was found unresponsive in his cell. Staff began life-saving efforts. Paramedics called in, but he was pronounced dead. Court records show Lepkowski was sentenced earlier that year for trying to force his way into a Saskatoon basement suite with another man in January of 2020. One of the occupants of the suite was shot in the arm during the incident. The inquest into Lepkowski's death is scheduled for February 10th to the 13th. Well, Daryl, the Western Canadian Crop Production Show, it's underway in Saskatoon.
That's right. For the annual Western Canadian Crop Production Show, as you mentioned, Hallie Mandrick takes us there to hear concerns from producers.
As producers from across the country gather for the 43rd annual Western Canadian Crop Production Show, many are talking about Premier Scott Moe's trip to China and the implications it could have on the industry.
Expectations, I think we're cautious on that. We're optimistic that there'll be some sort of a way forward. I don't know when that's going to happen, but we do anticipate that at some point those tariffs will go away. The sooner the better.
It was announced on Monday that Moe would be joining Prime Minister Mark Carney on the trip to China. Many at the conference shared hope that this move indicates Saskatchewan will have a seat at the table in conversations regarding trade and international tariffs, particularly the hefty tariffs on Canadian canola products.
My optimism would probably be on the higher end now that there's going to be some resolve, if not immediate, probably in the very near future. I would have to think for the Prime Minister to be going that they probably think that there's some end to this, and I would hope that there would be.
Bell says last year's harvest season was fruitful for farmers in Western Canada, but the economic situation has made it difficult for producers to see that reflected in their income.
Unfortunately, a lot of it's still in the bin, so the sooner the better. Obviously, they're going to want to market that crop and get some cash in hand, both to pay bills, but also there's a crop to plan for 2026.
The pressure to have these tariffs lifted is increasing as producers hope to plan for the spring.
It's obviously something we really do need. It's going to have an impact on a lot of the crush side. It's going to have an impact, obviously, on the market. And it'll also have an impact on what farmers decide to put into the ground as well.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has put the brakes on proposed changes to animal health traceability requirements. Jerry Carr with reaction.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency's decision to hit the pause button on proposed additional regulations on animal traceability is music to the ears of organizations like the Saskatchewan Cattle Association.
Saskatchewan Cattle Association called for a halt to these regulations, and we've been repeatedly and strongly advocating that movement tracking cannot be burdensome or onerous on our producers.
According to Ross, traceability involves the ID of an animal, the premise ID to show where the animal is located, and other tracking of things like disease history. The province's Ministry of Agriculture is also pleased that the federal government has put a temporary halt to the possible changes, saying further discussions are needed with industry stakeholders and provincial agricultural ministers.
The federal minister assured me that we would probably get it on the agenda at the next FPT meeting and have some discussions further further on really making sure that the cow-calf producers and others aren't so impacted by some of the regulation changes that CFIA had recommended.
The CFIA says that a modern and reliable traceability system will allow animals to be tracked through the production system, supports faster and more targeted disease response, and helps limit impacts on producers, communities, and trade. But Ross says the regulations as proposed, if passed, will tack on to the workload and the bill for Saskatchewan cattle producers.
For our cow-calf producers, there's going to be a little bit of extra scanning and going to be some more equipment needed and that type of thing. For our fairs and exhibitions, there's going to be some extra equipment.
The CFIA says they will continue to consult about the regulations to those in the cattle industry, along with agricultural associations and governments. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatchewan Crop Forum underway, of course, as you know, in Saskatoon, kicked off by a major funding announcement from the federal and provincial governments. The federal Minister of Agriculture joined the provincial Minister of Agriculture to announce $9.7 million to support crop research in Saskatchewan, which includes $7.2 million for 39 new crop research projects and $2.5 million to study long-term management of things like herbicides.
This ADF program is really valuable in that sense. We can address needs for industry and producer groups, do the necessary research, but also making sure that we're addressing relevant questions for farmers in Saskatchewan and in Western Canada in general.
The money is invested through that Agriculture Development Fund you just heard about under the Sustainable Canadian Agricultural Partnership. Prince Albert Raiders scored 3 goals in the third period as they climbed back into the win column.
Cross ice feed now has it. Brett sneaking his way in. Brett on the backhand, and they score! Lyndon Brett on the backhand.
Riley Boychuk, Owen Korkish, and Braden Dubé each scoring in the third. Raiders beat Brandon 5-3 at the Art Hauser. They've now won 8 of their last 10.
Batted around a couple of skates. Now Ben Miller carries in. Back down to McDonough, centered, save made, rebound, they score. Carson Dick.
And the Portland Winterhawks held the Moose Jaw Warriors off the scoreboard last night, 5-0 the final there. The U.S. road trip for the Warriors continues tonight. Let's get over to the Weather Center and talk about that gust of wind we're expecting today.
That's right. Well, as you can see behind me, things are finally clearing up. However, there is still a fog advisory out for majority of Saskatchewan. So make sure you're taking your time. That is expected to last throughout the morning. But right here in Regina, we are starting to see things clear up. -4 is our current temperature, and those winds headed south at about 15 kilometers per hour. Over to Saskatoon now, -5. Again, south winds at about 13 kilometers per hour. And we are expecting to see a cloudier day, some sunshine peeking through. But for the most part, cloud cover in the sky, which will lead us into some snow tomorrow. But first, let's look at these wind gusts. Today, we're expecting to see anywhere from 15 to 30 kilometer per hour wind speeds. Again, fairly slow compared to what tomorrow will bring. We'll get more into that coming up. But first, let's look at these current temperatures. Buffalo Narrows at 1 degree, Spiritwood at -1, Melfort -4 along with Nipawin. South End -14, the Battlefords is at -6, Kindersley -3, Yorkton -9, Weyburn and Estevan both at -4. Our highs for today, Swift Current at 7 degrees, the Battlefords 3, Yorkton -1, Estevan and Weyburn both at 1 degree, and Prince Albert seeing 2. Now for our 7-day forecast in Regina, we'll be seeing 1 degree as our high for today, seeing some snowfall tomorrow, 0 degrees, and things are going to get a little bit icy in the evening as we hit -11 as our low. Now again, those winds are headed northwest at about 48 kilometers per hour. So despite the temperature being at about 0 degrees, we will feel it a little bit cooler. As we get into the weekend, however, beautiful temperatures coming our way and a little bit more sunshine. On Saturday, -4 as our high, and on Sunday, -14, more cloud cover. And into next week on Tuesday, we're expecting to see some more snowfall and -7. Now for Saskatoon, 2 degrees today as that high. Tomorrow, seeing some sunshine, but some scattered flurries as well. Now for Saskatoon and surrounding areas, those winds are expected to head northwest at about 47 kilometers per hour. And a beautiful weekend. We've got -2 on Saturday, seeing those wind speeds slow down just a little bit. And on Sunday, -14. We will kick off next week nice and fresh, -12 in Saskatoon, and seeing some of that sunshine.
January 14th, 1967, Eden's halted its catalog sales operation, which has been running since 1884. January 14th, 2010, Canada sent the HMCS Athabasca and HMCS Halifax to bring emergency supplies to Haiti after that devastating earthquake. January 14th, 2011, Tunisia's president resigned and fled to Saudi Arabia after widespread pro-democracy demonstrations. January 14th, 1967, the first ever Super Bowl game was played. The Green Bay Packers of the National Football League and Kansas City Chiefs of the American Football League battled, and Green Bay, of course, won that game.
I had so many good times in that side of the table.
1974, American TV series Happy Days, a nostalgic comedy set in the 50s and 60s, premiered on ABC. Hey! Doing the fawns there, Jeremy. Hey! She thought I was doing karate.
Close enough.
And if you are a fan of comedy, here's an upcoming documentary that you might like.
Hey, I'm the writer, the director, the producer, and the star. As the actor, I ask for a little more money. As the director, I say, what are you, crazy? You stink. I'm not going to pay that kind of money.
Mel Brooks' job.
Yeah, Mel Brooks, the 99-year-old man. It's an upcoming two-part documentary about the legendary actor, writer, director, and it follows the life, career, and friendships of Brooks as he skyrocketed to comedy royalty. It's going to start streaming on the 22nd, and we can watch it on Crave here in Canada.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Nice shameless network promo, too. We like that. We like to see it. Question of the day is where we go to next. We're dressing up our pets for National Dress Up Your Pet Day because why not, right? We've got plenty of answers to get through. So
Why
let's
not?
continue on through.
Never
Jackie
mind.
sending us this photo of Indy, her 3.5-year-old pocket beagle, looking very regal in that outfit. It's a flamingo.
It's a flamingo. And we've got Ruth here showing us this adorable little gal named Hazel. She says she loves to dress up. So not all dogs hate their outfits.
But most of them do.
I have yet to see a happy animal in this whole morning.
I mean, golden retrievers always
Not
look happy.
one.
So that one looks pretty
okay.
good dressed up like a lion.
That's true.
That's fair.
All right, let's check in here from Kim, sending us a couple of photos of her miniature Jack Russell Mini. She says that she hates dressing up, but would still do it for a photo.
And treats. And always treats.
And treats, of course.
This one came to us
Better
from...
be lots of treats for these pups.
Right. Virginia dressed up her dogs, and Halloween is a hot dog. That makes the most sense.
All right, we've got Lynn coming up next here, showing off her pumpkin pup.
Oh, Donna's going to close us out with these photos from Christmas. Said they also don't like to dress up, but we're doing it anyway, so why not, right? That brings us to the end of the segment. We're going to take a time out. We've got health news on the other side of this short break. Thanks for playing along.
Nearly 6,000 people will be diagnosed with cancer daily, according to the American Cancer Society. But despite the scary news that often accompanies the disease, the Cancer Society's latest annual report revealing the U.S. 5-year relative survival rate for all cancers combined is up 70% for people diagnosed between 2015 and 2021.
About 35% of folks with metastatic disease are really alive at 5 years. That's a huge improvement.
Dr. William Dayhut, the chief scientific officer of the American Cancer Society, explaining on Good Morning America today why cancer survivability is up.
If we went back to the 1970s, less than half of the people would be cancer-free or surviving, at 5 years. So it's really been driven by a couple things. Number one, tobacco. Tobacco use and really drives so many cancers. So the fact that 44% of people were smoking in the 60s, like only 11% now, that's dramatic. Second, for those cancers that we can screen, early detection has made a difference. And finally, therapy.
The Cancer Society says the death rate has now declined by 34% since its peak in 1991.
People reach out because they know that I've gone through it a couple times. Right. And I tell them,
the progress that's been made since I was diagnosed, the progress that has been made is tremendous.
Yeah, we're in our last miles. In a marathon, the last miles are really hard. We're not there yet. But if we all work together, we can slug up those last 6 miles and get to the end there. So
there is hope. And
there's
I think
definitely
that's
hope.
The American Cancer Society report also notes that certain common cancers are still increasing, including breast, prostate, and colon. And the Cancer Society says science is working hard not only to improve outcomes, but to cure patients. Melissa Adan, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A former president and first lady could be held in contempt of Congress after refusing to testify before a Republican-led House committee's investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. And it's a charge that carries a penalty of up to 1 year in prison and a fine of $100,000. CTV's Joy Malbin on the Clintons' defiant response.
It seems the Clintons have had enough of Republican efforts to force them to testify before a Republican-controlled congressional committee investigating Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. In a scathing letter, the Clintons slammed the subpoenas as legally invalid and therefore unenforceable. Bill Clinton refused to testify in person today. Hillary Clinton expected to be a no-show Wednesday, slamming the Republican-led investigation as nothing more than partisan politics. That didn't go over well with the Republican chair threatening the Clintons with contempt.
Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was president. No one's accusing Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing. We just have questions, and that's why the Democrats voted along with Republicans to subpoena Bill Clinton.
The Trump Justice Department's latest batch of Epstein files show images of former President Clinton on Epstein's private jet, in the pool with Epstein's accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, and in a hot tub. What the Clintons call irrelevant, decades-old photos that you hope will embarrass us. The former president says he knew nothing of Epstein's crimes and their written sworn testimony should be enough.
He's gutless. He's going to hide behind Hillary's skirt, and they just thumb their nose at the system that they swore an oath to uphold.
Bill Clinton had a well-documented friendship with the convicted sex offender, as did President Donald Trump. But the Republican chair says they can't force a sitting president to testify. It's rare that Congress subpoenas former presidents, but it has happened. President Trump was supposed to testify about the January 6th attack after he left office, but Trump ignored that subpoena.
Well, the new year brings a fresh start, and today we are joined by Rob Collins from Affinity Wealth Management. Rob, your career has spanned 30 years, a wealth of experience, pun intended, by the way. Give us some of the lessons that you've learned in that time.
I mean, there's so many lessons, and so when you have that many years, you see a lot of things take place. Some of the keys, I think, are just the challenges of human emotion, fear and greed. All the news that's readily available by the minute, it leads to analysis paralysis, and I'm finding a lot of people really need professional guidance.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, that's for sure. I mean, you've probably seen bull markets and bear markets, but the one constant maybe is time and elimination of panic?
Time's a very valuable thing, and it helps to offset the big challenge of inflation, but time value is such a powerful item. When I look back and I watch how investments compound. Have you ever heard of the rule of 72?
No.
Okay. It's a simple rule. 72 divided by the rate of return that you're getting, that's how long it takes to double your money. So an example, 7% yield, not a terribly challenging one, doubles every 10 years. If you can get that extra 10 years in, instead of hitting, for example, $1 million, you can hit $2 million. Not save an extra penny, just give an extra 10 years.
There you go. It's great advice, and really that's the thing we want to focus on maybe is the value of advice, especially as you say, when that emotion is in there.
Yeah, emotion's a hard thing to overcome. We'll never beat it. We're humans. But professional guidance, setting a target, having a plan, we've got an amazing team in Affinity that can help every walk of life, from the newest investor to to the most affluent. And I think that's a real feather in our cap to have local advisory services like that.
No doubt about it. Now, obviously, as we head into 2026, we're not going to look at a crystal ball. I know, right? Past results not indicative of future performance. I know all of those things. But where's a good starting point? What should, no matter where you are on the gamut, what's the first thing that people should do?
I think the first thing they should do is take their future finances seriously. Meet a planner, set some targets, go ahead and start paying yourself first. So many people have fallen into a habit of spending everything they have, saving if there's something left. That formula just doesn't work out well.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. And if you want to book Rob or anybody on their team for some of their time, you can do so online at affinitywealth.ca.
Almost a month after 11-year-old boy in Regina died due to carbon monoxide leak at a Regina apartment building, the provincial auditor says he will not be conducting a separate investigation despite a request from the NDP. Sierra D'Souza Butts with why.
The provincial auditor of Saskatchewan has decided not to conduct an investigation of its own into a deadly carbon monoxide leak at an apartment building in Regina last month. 11-year-old Henry Losco died of carbon monoxide poisoning after a leak in his family's apartment building in downtown Regina on December 19th. The NDP sent a letter to the auditor's office formally requesting a full review of the Technical Safety Authority of Saskatchewan, or TSASC. In a statement to CTV News, the auditor's office says it recognizes the profound loss of Henry Losco for his family and community and the seriousness of the concerns raised, adding, at this time, it does not plan to initiate or conduct a separate or special investigation. However, a future audit of TSASC's oversight and inspection practices remains an area of potential interest as they plan future audit work. In the meantime, Henry's father, Sergio, tells CTV News that he hasn't received any update about the ongoing investigation, saying, "My son died, and I was minutes away from death. Yet none of the detectors in our unit and entire fourth floor of the building sounded any alarm." Adding, his family heard a Sask Energy ad about the importance of installing carbon monoxide detectors on every floor and is thanking Sask Energy for trying to educate landlords about the devastating consequences of not having properly installed and functioning detectors and alarms. When asked for comment, the Ministry of Government Relations says it would be inappropriate to speak to the investigation being led by Regina Fire Services, and TSASC continues to participate. CTV News has reached out to the Regina Fire and Protective Services for an update on the investigation, but did not hear back in time for broadcast. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
A well-known family-owned business in Regina has had to pause operations after a fire broke out inside the establishment early Monday morning. Damian Smith surveys the damage.
Vuong Pham, owner of Country Corner Donuts, surveys the damage caused by a fire early Monday morning. At 4 a.m., he received a notification that his long-lasting business had caught on fire. Pham rushed over, doing his best to air out the smoke.
And I ran to the back door, opened the back door. When about 2 minutes, and when I come back here, the smoke a little bit later.
A day later, customers are still coming in to get their donuts and coffee, only to find the shop is temporarily closed.
Everybody stop by here. Some just say sorry, some hug me, some shake a hand.
Country Corner Donuts has been a staple on the corner of Dewdney Avenue and Broad Street for the past 37 years.
This one raised my family. We not get rich, but at least we have comfortable to living and children success in their life and mean a lot. That's why I stay here. I don't want to go anywhere.
Despite the setback, Pham sees the light at the end of the tunnel as he looks to reopen as soon as he can.
Keep going. Too young to retire.
CTV News reached out to Regina Fire and Protective Services for comment and was told an update is forthcoming. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Now to Kiefer Sutherland, arrested after an altercation with a rideshare driver in Hollywood. Laura Spencer reports.
This morning, Kiefer Sutherland, known for playing tough, no-nonsense characters, now facing real-life legal trouble. The star of the action show 24 arrested for allegedly assaulting a rideshare driver in Hollywood around midnight on Monday. In a statement, the LAPD says its investigation determined that Sutherland entered a rideshare vehicle, physically assaulted the driver, and made criminal threats towards the victim. Officers arrested Sutherland at the scene for suspicion of felony criminal threats. Authorities reporting the driver did not require medical attention at the scene.
They're going to have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that what he said is what he did indeed say, and that what he said would put a reasonable person in fear of, bodily harm.
It is not the first time the Emmy-winning actor has been in trouble with the law, including several arrests, even serving 48 days in jail in 2007 for driving under the influence and a probation violation. Sutherland has been open about his struggles with alcohol, talking about the challenges and crediting sobriety with helping change his life.
Now marking 1 year since Princess Kate announced she was in remission, how she shared her journey to recovery from cancer and her mission now. Maggie Rulli reports.
I find myself reflecting on how deeply grateful I am.
Princess Kate starting 2026 with gratitude. A year ago today, she announced she was officially in remission from cancer.
Okay. Stay strong, okay?
Visiting the hospital where she received her treatment and writing about her experience. As anyone who has experienced a cancer diagnosis will know, it takes time to adjust to a new normal, the princess wrote.
The surgery was successful.
She shocked the world when she first announced her diagnosis back in March 2024.
My medical team therefore advised that I should undergo a course of preventative chemotherapy, and I'm now in the early stages of that treatment.
Retreating from public life around the same time King Charles announced his diagnosis.
This year feels very different to last year. Last year was a very gradual return to work, and she emphasised that it can be really difficult to get back to normal. But this year I feel like she's really kind of set the tone for being ready to be more visible.
Kate mapping her recovery with seasonal installments, releasing the final one, Winter, on her 44th birthday last week.
Come to peace with our tears and discover what it means to be alive.
She knows that she has her biggest role ahead of her as queen, but that weight is not yet on her shoulders. This really is still a time when she can balance her public duties with continuing to focus on her family, which is something that is very important to her, particularly while her children are young.
Maggie Rulli, ABC News.
12 Saskatchewan communities saw record-breaking temperatures yesterday. The Cypress Hills area was the warmest record breaker at 10.6 degrees, up just slightly from the record set in 1996. Meadow Lake reached a high of 8.4, beating the old record set in 1985 of 4.1 degrees. Prince Albert, Melfort, Nipawin, and Waskesiu Lake also setting records. Maple Creek just missed setting a record, but still saw a high of 12 degrees and was a hot spot in the province. As for Saskatoon, again, no record set, but 4.9 degrees. Regina was 3.6. And out in Maple Creek, speaking of there, this picture sent in to us from Dolores Janelle. No snow anywhere to be found out there. No surprise if it was 12 degrees yesterday.
That's right. And look at that horse. I love this photo. I think this is precious.
Old gray mare just looking on, saying, what are you looking at?
What a great shot.
We're looking at warm temperatures and a lot of wind.
Yes, we sure are. We are seeing beautiful temperatures coming up, but tomorrow is going to be windy. We'll get more into that coming up. But first, let's take a look at this current temperature here in Regina. -4. As you can see behind me, that fog is starting to clear over the Queen City. However, a good portion of Saskatchewan is still under that fog advisory, so be careful in your morning commute here. Over to Saskatoon now, -5. Those winds are headed south at about 13 kilometers per hour. Once that sun does fully rise today, we will see just a little bit of it. We are expecting a cloudier day ahead of us, though, which will lead us into some snow tomorrow. But first, let's take a look at these wind gusts. So today, we're expecting to see anywhere from 15 to 30 kilometers per hour wind speeds throughout Saskatchewan. Tomorrow, much higher. For these current temperatures, though, Buffalo Narrows is at 1 degree. Melfort -4, along with Nipawin. Hudson Bay -11. Kindersley -3. East End 1 degree. Weyburn and Estevan -4. And Yorkton -9. For our highs today, right here in Saskatchewan, the Battlefords will be seeing about 3 degrees. Prince Albert 2, and starting to see some of that fog clear as well. Swift Current 7 degrees, Weyburn and Estevan 1. Now let's look at this 5-day forecast. Today in Regina, 1 degree is our high. We will be reaching that low of 0 tonight. As we get into tomorrow, we'll start to see some snowfall earlier on in the morning. We'll be hitting about 0 degrees for that high, so things will fall and then melt. However, we're reaching -11 as that low tomorrow evening, so things are going to get a little bit slippery out there. Those winds are northwest, headed at 48 kilometers per hour. As we get into the weekend, -4 on Saturday, starting to see more sunshine and nice temperatures. And on Sunday, we'll kick things off with -14. Over to Saskatoon now. Today, 2 degrees is that high. Tomorrow, starting to see some scattered flurries as well. 0 degrees as the high. Those winds are headed northwest at 47 kilometers per hour. As we get into the weekend, though, we start to see things warm up once again. Some sunshine on Saturday, -2 is that high. And on Sunday, a little bit more cloud cover, but still some sunshine and seeing decent temperatures with -14.
Well, here we are at JB's Sausage with Dorothy Garrow, and we are talking about that old trusted kitchen tip. It's shake and bake, and I helped. You remember those commercials? Well, we're talking all about the different breading options that you guys have here.
Yeah.
Where did we begin?
Oh, sky's the limit when it comes to breading. We have a ton of different kinds, from regular to spicy. We've got for fish, meat, chicken, pork chops if you want to do cutlets, that sort of thing. One of my favorite shake and bake hacks was getting my kids to eat vegetables, to make vegetables a little bit more exciting. So I would do roasted broccoli, cauliflower, that sort of thing, and just kick up the flavor to make it more interesting.
Very cool. I like that. Now, adhesion is the key when it comes to the breading, right? I'm not admittedly very good. Are there any tips and tricks to make sure that you're getting the proper adhesion instead of just a whole bunch of breadcrumbs that fell off?
So the trick is to, if you're using an air fryer, I like to coat my whatever I'm using in some oil first, and then I'll put in a little bit of breading and shake it up in a bag to do it in an air fryer. Or you can mix our coatings with a little bit of water, milk, that sort of thing, and do like a wet breading, and then you can deep fry if that's kind of like your jam, to do it that way.
Okay, so all sorts of different tips, and obviously you guys have everything covered. Are there different, obviously, types of breadings based on what you're cooking with?
Yeah, some have like cornstarch and flour, and some have breadcrumbs, depending on how crumbly you want it to be. So that's just a personal preference as to which one you'd like to use. And the nice thing about all of our breadings is they have a different flavor profile, so you can do different things or add a little bit extra pepper or kick or whatever you want.
Fantastic. A nice little starting point. Of course, you can jazz it up. As we like to say around here, we're not here to judge what goes on in people's kitchens, right? But we are going to judge this. What have you got for us?
I have got some actually chicken and rib on some Brussels sprouts that I did this morning. So we're going to do a little bit of a breakfast Brussels sprout. Cheers.
Cheers. jbsausage.ca.
Pretty good.
When it comes to Saskatchewan football talent, few have reached the heights of one man from North Battleford, Saskatchewan. You're looking at footage of Ruben Mays, who went from small-town Sask to the bright lights of the NFL. After playing high school football in North Battleford, he would go on to be an All-American with Washington State University. Mays was actually selected by the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the CFL draft, but went south after being chosen 57th overall in the 1986 NFL draft. In his first NFL season with the New Orleans Saints, he would be named Offensive Rookie of the Year and was a Pro Bowl selection in both of his first two seasons. He would play a total of 7 seasons in the NFL, 5 with the Saints and 2 with the Seattle Seahawks, and racked up a total of just over 3,400 yards and 23 touchdowns. In 2022, he was inducted into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. And if that list of accomplishments isn't big enough, he's also the only Saskatchewan player featured in the iconic original Tecmo Super Bowl video game. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood-finished televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Greetings, everyone. No matter the circumstances, appearing in court can be a stressful situation. That's why Cody First Nation is adding some support, which is being welcomed by the CAMSAC court system and surrounding Indigenous communities.
Cody First Nation closed 2025 with an important step toward truth and reconciliation. The First Nation is launching a new initiative to provide cultural support in the justice system.
This will open doors of healing and cleansing and possibly lowering the rate of our people that are coming to court.
As of the new year, there will always be an elder at court for those who need guidance, including victims and offenders.
Let's help them, through prayer, through smudging, through letting the elders sit here. It's really great to know that we'll have elders sitting in here when they come through the courthouse doors. They have somebody to talk to.
Judge Derek Mahar was in attendance at the blessing ceremony at the CAMSAC courthouse in December. He welcomes the initiative and recalls a previous case in which such counsel made a difference during court proceedings.
So having that elder here unsolicited, a nice man who just shared with the young man, and he gave him advice and direction. And I think ultimately that young man made the right decision.
The initiative was spearheaded by Cody First Nations cultural coordinator a year ago when he realized there is a crisis in his community.
We started having meetings with Sergeant O'Neill and started talking about things that we can do to improve our relationships between the justice system and our communities.
The chief of nearby Kisiku's First Nation said it's monumental to move forward with the program.
Having that opportunity to pray, to smudge, to have those, whether it's the traditional way or whether it's Christian, Catholic, whatever faith denomination, just having that support, having those prayers is very powerful.
Cultural services will be available at the CAMSAC courthouse on Tuesdays. For Indigenous Circle, I'm Frugina Declut in CAMSAC.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
With comedic cynicism, it was a depiction of office culture that resonated with readers across the globe.
Luckily, everyone seems to be developing an immunity to the toxic environment.
At its height, Dilbert, the comic strip, created by Scott Adams, had its own TV series. In print, the mouthless, bespeckled character appeared in 2,000 newspapers worldwide in at least 70 countries and 25 languages. Adams once told CTV News that his own years spent working in a cubicle as an office dweller was the catalyst for his comic.
I spent 16 years in cubicles, first at a big bank and then at the phone company for 8 years. I became more cynical, if that was even possible.
Decades of Dilbert also gave way to multiple books, though the laughs came to an abrupt halt in 2023.
I got a call from my syndication company, and they said, we can't do business with you. We're done.
Adams was dropped by some of the world's largest newspapers following a racist remark he made on his YouTube show where he referenced a poll that asked people if they agree that it's okay to be white, a phrase used by white supremacists. At the time, Adams insisted his comments were taken out of context, though he made no apology.
So Dilbert is now fully canceled.
Last year, Adams revealed he had prostate cancer that had spread to his bones.
So we'll see how far we get, okay?
Just last week, Adams appeared on his live stream for what would be his final public appearance.
This is going to be a tough week.
Early Tuesday, his ex-wife appeared on Adams' live stream to share the news of his passing.
But he's not with us right anymore.
Delivering one final written message left behind by Adams himself.
I had an amazing life. I gave it everything I had. Please know, I loved you all to the very end.
Scott Adams was 68 years old. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
A trip to Ohio, going to be very special for one Calgarian next month.
Gord Cohen is in his 90s and is going into the
Toledo Holy Toledo
Hall of
Hockey
Fame. Let's see what Glenn Campbell is reporting.
It's hard to keep up with super senior Gord Cowan. He skates twice a week, swims, plays pickleball 3 times a week, and takes a fitness class every morning. Being active is important for Cowan, who turns 93 in a couple of weeks.
If I were just sitting around, my muscles would get so soft and I'd be weak. And the next thing you'd know, I'd either be in a wheelchair or at least with the walker.
As you can imagine, Gord is a huge inspiration to many, especially his family.
I'm so proud of him, and just trying to keep up to him is a feat in itself. He is an absolute machine. Every single day, he is active.
Cowan's favorite sport has always been hockey, and he still has some pretty good moves out there. He helped coach the U of C Dinos from 1969 to 1981.
Coaching at the university was really important to me and very satisfying. I like working with the younger people, and so I spent about 12 years there working with George Kingston.
As you can imagine, Cowan coached hundreds of dinos over the years, and some of the alumni joined him at the rink to give him this jacket, a sign of respect for a man who taught them so much.
Every player that played for Gord loved him. He was just such a great motivator, teacher, awesome athlete. So he influenced a lot of us, and more than just hockey, in life and careers and friendships.
The jacket symbolizes Cowan's time with the U of C and his time in the International Hockey League. Cowan played 8 seasons there, mostly in Toledo, Ohio. And next month, he's going to be inducted into the Toledo Hockey Hall of Fame, and most of his family will be there with him.
It'll be really something, but at the same time, I'll think about the fact that how much my wife would have enjoyed it, Toledo, because she really enjoyed it when we were there.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
I just hope to be half that active if I am lucky enough to reach that age. My goodness. Wow, no walkers there.
Yeah, skating around. You love to see it.
Holy Toledo. Let's get to your sidebar. She's dealing with a flood at her desk, which was a tea that she just went poof.
My mind is elsewhere.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Happy Wednesday.
That's why we have an engineering department. Musicals are all the rage these days, and it's taken over daily life for some.
I'm ready. How may I help you? Can I get an iced vanilla cream protein latte? What was it? Iced vanilla cream protein latte.
Heard this a couple of times. I feel like both sides could have committed a little more to the bit.
They could have put a bit more
not
passion
quite
in.
there.
Yeah, it's sing-songy, but I don't know if it's operatic. Can you please do this?
I would.
You're obviously in need of another tea.
I'm in need of another tea. I'm going to go try this. I'll let you know how that goes.
Please record it.
Oh boy.
A baby that was born to shred. Check out little Otto. So, skis a lotto. He's 16 months old. Look at him go.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great. Look at him.
Oh, man.
He can stand
Wait till he's actually able to stand up.
Yeah.
He'll be really good then.
Look out.
I spend half my days thinking about, do I really want to spend money on this? They're going to outgrow it in 5 days. This guy's got a helmet, skis, boots.
Yeah.
I think I bought
You
pants
really
last week for Aria that she no longer fits already. I'm like, oh come on.
Man.
Let's just
grow so fast.
Let's just burn these bills. That'll be great. How about Instagram versus reality to close this out? That's what really happened, but what you're going to see on her Instagram feed is something a little bit more magical. There it is.
Aw, that's how I felt with my tea today.
Wow.
That's not how your desk feels about the tea.
No.
Got dressed all by itself, and now he's wearing your drink.
Looks delicious.